We're in the gate. They're off. Don't Tell Our Wives. Here's Maximum Gold coming through along the inside, and in between them, Happy Sue. So Happy Sue is the quickest, Maximum Gold at the rail, and Don't Tell Our Wives third. Another 4 back to Sexy, who races right next to Ready to Risk It All. Down at the rail, Little Misbehaving, and Joyful Mischief at the back of the field. Half mile left to go, and Happy Sue, the leader. Don't Tell Our Wives presses the issue from second. Maximum Gold retreating third. Here's Ready to Risk It All, inching up on the outside fourth, followed by Little Misbehaving. Sexy still has a lot of work to do, 8 lengths off the lead, and 3 clear of Joyful Mischief. They have a quarter of a mile to go, and Happy Sue goes on willingly. And Happy Sue, cruising to the top of the stretch, opens it up to 2.5 on Don't Tell Our Wives. Now it's 3. Maximum Gold is in third, and they are followed by Ready to Risk It All. Final furlong, Happy Sue, 3-length lead. Here's Maximum Gold coming with a big run on the outside of Don't Tell Our Wives. It's Happy Sue in front. Here's the line. Happy Sue won it. Very close photo between Don't Tell Our Wives and Maximum Gold. A long way back, a photo for fourth between Ready to Risk It All and Joyful Mischief. And 3 clear of Joyful Mischief. They have a quarter of a mile to go, and Happy Sue goes 3. Maximum Gold is in third, and they are followed by Ready to Risk It All. Final furlong, Happy Sue, 3 with Kettle One vodka. Family made. Enjoy responsibly. Working on a couple of these that are getting restless suddenly. God's Favor, Auditory, Step It Out. And they're off. Girl Can't Help It was off slowly. Corporal Violet and Nida are both out quickly. Here's Step It Out, trying to save some ground. Very keen is Step It Out, but taken under a strong hold while moving toward the rail. Crypto Crush inches up on the outside of Sparkles Sweetly. That group is followed by God's Favor. Union Heiress is next. Auditory is one from the rail as they round the first turn, and Girl Can't Help It trails. It will be Corporal Violet to set the tempo, leading by 1.5 lengths. Nida is a joint second, passed now by Crypto Crush, who moves up and grabs the second spot. Sparkles Sweetly in the green is 3 lengths off the lead, followed by Step It Out. God's Favor is in mid-pack, another 2 lengths clear of Auditory. Down at the rail, Girl Can't Help It is now second to last, and Union Heiress trails. Corporal Violet and Armando Aguilar in control, rounding the far turn. It's a 2.5 length lead on Crypto Crush. They are followed by Sparkles Sweetly, who moves up level on with Nada. In between those two, here's Step It Out on the move. Step It Out is starting to move swiftly and will need to be even quicker to catch Corporal Violet, who turns for home with a 5-length lead. Step It Out in full flight second. Down at the rail comes Nida in third. Then Crypto Crush. Girl Can't Help It out of last, a 16th to go. Corporal Violet still clear by more than 3, and it will be Corporal Violet to take them all the way. Step It Out much better than the rest. Girl Can't Help It rallied belatedly in front of Crypto Crush. The running time, 1:36.26 seconds. It's official. Up next, race 6, which is named for Huntington Group and Thrivent Day at the Races. We're in the gate, and they're off. Beautiful start for Brookie's Gal in the center, but it sees the image who's quickest down the back stretch. Twilight Empire moves up to claim that second spot, and down at the rail, it's Harney Lane. Morning Addiction is in that group too, along with Rose of Jericho. A big gap to Roses Are Blue, and Tessa is at the back of the field. It sees the image, passing the half-mile pole, leading by 1 length. Harney Lane in second. Twilight Empire races in third. Then Brookie's Gal between horses fourth, followed by Morning Addiction in the yellow colors on the outside, and Rose of Jericho is 4 lengths off the lead, a half dozen or so to Roses Are Blue and Tessa. They're heading to the quarter pole. Sees the image prominent throughout. Leads it by a length to Harney Lane. Brookie's Gal rallying in between horses now with a smart move. And on the outside of them comes Twilight Empire. They're a furlong from the finish. It sees the image. Harney Lane. Brookie's Gal is in third. Coming to the 16th pole. Sees the image, is digging in, and has another gear. And it sees the image. And Alfredo Batista to win it easily. Second to Harney Lane. Third was Brookie's Gal. Twilight Empire fourth. On the board for number 10 goes in. We're in the gate, and they're off to a beautiful beginning. Mutt Dillon is very fast in the center of the racetrack. General Jackson has some early speed, as does Master Jacques. And Oscar's Mark moves through at the rail. Lead Pipe Joe in between those two. Breaking Desire on the outside of Soul Music and Easy Breezy, Sawtooth Bow, and Code Breaker at the back, some 12 lengths off front running Mutt Dillon, who takes him past the 3/8 pole with a 2-length lead, chased by General Jackson in second. Then Lead Pipe Joe inching forward on the inside to claim third. Master Jacques is now in fourth. Another 3 back to Oscar's Mark, who's 4 clear of Easy Breezy, a quarter of a mile to go. Mutt Dillon, Lead Pipe Joe cut loose. He's had a good trip, and he comes after Mutt Dillon and takes the lead with a furlong left to go. General Jackson is in third from way back. Code Breaker trying to get a piece of it, but it's lights out for the favorite, Lead Pipe Joe, who was a cinch, and he will stroll in, winning by 7 widening lengths. Mutt Dillon second, tight photo for third, Code Breaker, and Master Jacques, and on the scene late, Sawtooth Bow with some serious late interest. The B. Wayne Hughes Beholder Mile, presented by FanDuel. And they're off in the B. Wayne Hughes Beholder Mile. A very even start. Ricci out alertly. So was Tarifa. And Cavalieri in between those two. Alpha Bella is in the mix. Ultimate Authority is only 3 lengths off the lead. And Hoosier Philly inches up on the inside now to take the 4th spot. It will be Ricci to set the tempo at the 6 furlong pole over her stablemate Cavalieri, who's 3/4 back second. Tarifa in the blue silks third. Hoosier Philly under a nice hold at the rail fourth, 3 lengths off the pace. She's followed by Ultimate Authority and Alpha Bella. It's a very compact field. 4 lengths covers them. Antonio Fresu and Ricci past the 5/8 pole in control. Widening now. Almost 2 lengths to Cavalieri in second. They are followed by Ultimate Authority, who's a joint third. And outside of her is Tarifa. Down at the rail, Hoosier Philly, and Alpha Bella gets a cue, trying to pick it up from behind. 3 furlongs out, Ricci to catch, doing it sweetly so far. 2 lengths clear of Cavalieri, who's set down now and trying to get after her. These two have been 1-2 almost every step of the way, with Hoosier Philly at the rail in third. Tarifa under pressure, losing a bit of ground in fourth. Then comes Ultimate Authority and Alpha Bella. They turn for home, and Ricci is asked to finish the job. Has a 2-length lead with a furlong left to go. Cavalieri is trying hard to close the gap and is getting to Ricci now. Ricci, Cavalieri. Ricci and Cavalieri head and head. Cavalieri on the outside and Ricci. Cavalieri gets her, and Cavalieri with an unblemished 4-for-4 record wins the B. Wayne Hughes Beholder Mile. Ricci was game but second best a long way back to Tarifa. Live. Race 9, the San Simeon Grade 3 event. 23 minutes to post, scratch 2, Gaslight Dancer. In the gate. And they're off in the San Simeon. And it was an even break. Charge for Gold is out quickly from the inside. He's coming to vie for the lead along with Mucho Del Oro. And Love Sick Blues is up and on the pace too. Just in behind them comes Sorrento Sky, who's fourth. Air Force Red is next, only about 3 or so off the lead as they run down the hill. On the extreme outside, Anarchist is passing horses, and the distant early trailer is St. Anthony. They have less than a half mile to go, and it's Love Sick Blues, the leader. On the outside, Mucho Del Oro right up there, second. Then Charge for Gold, who's now third, coming toward the quarter pole. Anarchist is racing in fourth. Air Force Red is 5 lengths off the lead. Then comes Sorrento Sky and St. Anthony. They're at the top of the stretch, and it's Love Sick Blues clinging to a narrow advantage. Mucho Del Oro is asked to get by him. Love Sick Blues, though, keeps on going. And on the outside, here's Air Force Red. Air Force Red takes second, closing the gap on Love Sick Blues. Air Force Red, a gem of consistency, is up to take the lead. Nice performance from Air Force Red to win the San Simeon. Love Sick Blues was second. Sorrento Sky finished third, close for fourth, a battle that included St. Anthony. Kicks off the $5 late double, scratch number 4, Tranche. Post time in 24 minutes. Coming forward. They're in the gate. And they're off. Mystification is out quickly. Eagle's Flight has speed. Santarena on the far outside is up close too. Just in behind them comes Brazenly, who's on the outside of Ghazali. Sketchy is one from the rail, and None Above the Law is at the back of the field. So it will be Mystification to set the tempo, prompted by Eagle's Flight. Down at the rail, Ghazali is in third, and Santarena now moves up, takes that third spot as they swing on to the backstretch. Sketchy is next, racing just inside of Brazenly, who's 4 lengths off the lead, and None Above the Law at the back. So Eagle's Flight wants to lead and takes it away from Mystification with less than 5 furlongs to travel. Opens up willingly. He's suddenly 2 lengths in front. Santarena moves up on the outside, Brazenly going for an early bid in the green silks. He's on the far outside. Sketchy and Ghazali are next, and None Above the Law outside of that pair. Around the far turn, Eagle's Flight doing it well. Brazenly moves up to take second. Santarena is just inside of him. That group is followed by Mystification. Ghazali has 6 lengths to make up. He's followed by Sketchy. None Above the Law has trailed throughout. They pass the quarter pole and come for home. Eagle's Flight cuts the corner and goes on with it. Brazenly on the outside, and Santarena head and head battling for second. And down at the rail comes Mystification. A late bid from Ghazali, but Eagle's Flight is in another league. And Eagle's Flight strides out beautifully through the stretch. The promising Eagle's Flight wins by 4.5. Santarena second in front of Brazenly and Ghazali. They're in the gate. And they're off. Hot Box is hustled hard for the early lead. Also showing good speed is Wind Ribbon in the early stages. And they're joined further out by Double Jab, who gets right up to take second. At the rail, Uncle Chili steadies a bit and shuffles back. Potito, who broke slowly, is now moving all the way up to claim the third spot. Chrome Flash between horses with Havoc right next to him. Down the backstretch, Double Jab takes the lead from Hot Box. It's 2 more lengths. Wind Ribbon is very keen along the inside. Potito is in that mix too. Chrome Flash splits the pair and takes third around the turn. Havoc is following that path of Chrome Flash, and 2 more to Uncle Chili. They come to the quarter pole, double jab, hot box, re-engages, switching to his outside now. Chrome Flash in third, Wind Ribbon is down at the rail. Havoc swings into the outside. They're an eighth of a mile from home, and it's double jab who's built up a 4-length lead. Chrome Flash takes up the chase. Wind Ribbon is down at the rail, 16th pole, and double jab. Here's another for Armando Ayuso. Double jab wins it by 3.5. Uncle Chili really took off late to get second. Third to Chrome Flash in front of Wind Ribbon and Havoc.
As you would expect, I have a number of questions for my seminar guest today. Questions like, when you look at my Hawaiian shirt, do you immediately get thirsty? Questions like, what's your frequent flyer balance? You've been on the road quite a bit lately, and more importantly, who do you like in all 11 races today? Hi, everybody. My name's Tom Quigley, and of course, my seminar guest today, the lovely Michelle Yu. Michelle, happy Sunday. Welcome to the seminar.
Oh, thanks, TQ. And no, I don't get thirsty looking at any of that.
You sure? Do you even like the shirt?
I like the shirt because you know what? I love orange, and it's got a lot of like orange, and I see a little like yellow that's like Voovie yellow, so I'm good with it. I like the shirt, but I'm not a fruity drink kind of girl.
You've got an orange coffee cup over there as well. Speaking of orange,
it's not coffee though. I don't drink coffee.
You don't?
I decaf sometimes, but
dare I ask what's in that cup?
Yeah, you can ask what's in that cup.
Okay.
It's this like Chinese, or actually it's a Korean herb, and then it is ginger and lemon and a benefit.
Would it be considered a legal beverage, or
Yeah,
okay?
Yes.
It doesn't get you a little bit higher than normal.
No, it's actually for my throat and immunity. We should give one to our producer.
You've been on the road quite a bit. Did you get sick while you were on the road, or I think you were sick before you went to Saudi Arabia?
Yes, I got sick. So we went to I went to Ireland for Olivia's birthday, and we came back. I got sick after that. I kind of rebounded for Saudi, which is generally when I usually get sick when I go to Saudi, and this year I didn't, which is great. But I always have this like voice thing where I lose my voice constantly. It's probably because I yell at my children. No, I yell when I'm cheering.
You do a lot of talking here at San Anita.
So I've been drinking this. On TikTok, I follow this lady, and she plays Elphaba on Broadway in Wicked.
Okay.
And her like go-to for voice is like these like 3 things. And I'm like, well, I should give that a try. And so I did, and I love it. So now I drink it religiously.
I'm like most people. I follow you on Twitter, so I know kind of what you do when you're off site. You've been going to a lot of plays at the Pantages in Hollywood.
The Pantages is my favorite theater. I absolutely love it. We did a play. I normally do musicals. I'm not a huge play person, but we did go see Harry Potter a couple weeks ago, which I'm a huge Harry Potter fan, right? So I'm a Ravenclaw, in case you want to know. And when it was COVID, my mom had gotten me the tickets to go see the Harry Potter play in San Francisco. It was like a big event we were going to go, and of course, COVID shut it down. And we held on to our tickets for ages, but then they just were like, never mind, it's canceled. So it's been since 2020, and it finally came back into town, an abbreviated version. It used to be like a 2-day thing. But we went, my friend Christina got me tickets for Christmas. So we went and got to see it. It was amazing. It was so good, right? Yeah. And then what did we see before that? We saw Hamilton a couple weeks ago. We're going to see Hamilton again, actually, in April. I'm taking my son.
Let me circle back to your Ireland trip. Do I remember that you went to Coolmore when you were there?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You posted that on Twitter as well.
Yeah, that was
So who were some of the stallions there?
So we got to see August Rodin, which I hadn't seen him since he was here. He looked really great. We got to see Camelot. We got to see, who else was there? Paddington.
Was it as breathtaking as I might imagine?
It is so cool. I mean, we have gone to Coolmore in America multiple times. And Wooten Bassett. He's my favorite. That's I was trying to think of what his name was. Wooten Bassett he's a complete stud. But when you go, it's obviously massive and sprawling, right? And it's just a beautiful scene. But when you come down the main drive, they've got big bronzes of all like their most famous stallions, which I loved. And they really captured kind of who the horse was and their attitude. And then all the stallions have these cute little like huts. Like they're not in it's not like a big barn, right? You go into like a courtyard and they have like their own little cottages.
Amazing.
They look like a cute little cottage, and it has like their name and whatever stallion lived there before. And they get to go out in their big paddocks, and they've got goats and sheep there. And they're really into like the land and how they care for the land, being stewards of their land there, which I thought was just really beautiful to get to hear all about that. They've got this amazing on-site museum that we got to go in and see. It was a really amazing experience.
I'm the typical American, so I'll show my foreign ignorance. Does Saudi Arabia have breeding farms?
Yes.
Okay.
They do, actually.
Have you been?
No, so I haven't got to go to any of the thoroughbred breeding farms, although I have been to the big Arabian breeding farms when I've been there. But some of the races on the undercard for the Saudi Cup are exclusively for horses bred in the KSA. And, Prince Bandar, the chairman of the Jockey Club in Saudi Arabia, he's very passionate about bringing breeding. They want to have top tier breeding. You know, I mean, they want to emulate Japan in his mind to be able to have that in KSA. So they've been definitely trying to improve their breed. They're trying to buy, you know, obviously they buy horses at Keeneland, they buy horses at OBS, and they bring them over there. They're always trying to source horses over here so they can start that foundation for having a really good breed in the KSA.
What about the actual racetrack? What's that like in comparison to American racetracks?
Well, the apron and everything is a little, I'd say, smaller than we're used to. Like the grandstand is not very big at all, but the racetrack itself has a ton of scope. I mean, anytime you can do a one-turn mile and an eighth, you got to have a lot of distance. The turf course is big and lush. It's kind of funny because it's on like almost like an angle. So like when the horses come down, they almost come slightly down, or they do come slightly downhill. Not that it's like super visible, but you can tell that it's raised up in the back. You know, they've got, every year we go there, they've got another building that's been built trying to just add on. They've got a really beautiful, they call it the village, where, you know, it's nice to go see, and they've got little shops and coffee shops and everything. That's where we do the draw. And then when you go to the races, they've got this family fun zone, and they always have like amazing stuff for kids. They've got little, like, you know, you could do like the pony jump course this year, like on a stick horse, and face painting and all kinds of arts and crafts. Like you can spend the whole day there. So it's a really nice on-track atmosphere. Although it is grandstand wise, it's not like what you see here. We know it's not like some big breathtaking grandstand.
She's a worldwide traveler. She's also a wealth of knowledge, as you can well see in the first 7 minutes of the seminar. We're going to find out who Michelle likes on today's 11 race card. Her husband has a race in the as a racer, I should say, in the feature race today, the Pasadena Stakes. But first things first, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's Sunday's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf out 20 feet. Here are the early changes. In the first, start of the early pick 5, no scratches or jockey changes. There are no changes in race 2. In the third, scratch number 2, It's Thievery. Race 3, scratch number 2. No changes in the fourth. It's noted that number 6, jockey will not carry a whip. Fifth race, middle pick 4, offered on races 5, 6, 7, and 8. Scratch 3, Princess Snow. In the sixth, start of the $2 pick 6, number 5, My Amigo, the jockey apprentice Welfin Orantes, but the weight does remain at 124. Race 7 kicks off the late pick 5, first leg of the all-turf pick 3. In the 8th, we start the late pick 4, number 3, Nodoro, 2 pounds over. 5, Mr. Fighter, make the jockey Adrian Castellanos. Scratch number 6, Run and Ute. Number 8, Love Candy, 1 pound over. And scratch 9, Get 'em Dusty, 6 and 9 out of the 8th. The 9th is the Pasadena Stakes. Scratch number 2, Shea Brennan. And scratch number 7, Will Then. 2 and 7 out of the Pasadena. In the 10th, scratch number 1, Melanie's Tiger. And in the 11th, we offer super high 5-wagering, scratch number 6, Busy Channel. Those are the changes on our Sunday program. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place, where post time for the first is in 58 minutes at 12:30. We offer the Coast to Coast Pick 5 every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It starts at Gulfstream today, and that'll take place at approximately 2:08 Pacific, 5:08 Eastern. Back to Quigley's Corner we go. His special guest today is Michelle Yu.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with simulcast host and analyst Michelle Yu. It's our pleasure to have her. As if she wasn't busy enough today, she decided to spend an extra 40 minutes with us, so that's a good thing. Michelle, it's baby season, not necessarily for humans, but with the equines.
Don't be starting any rumors there, TQ, all right?
That's why I made the quick clarification. But you did have a baby this week. Not you, but one of your runners.
Yes, that's right. An old filly that we had, or not old filly, she's only 4 or 5 now, but Charlie, she was stakes placed out here.
Sure.
She's a beautiful Cowbred daughter of Motown, and we own her in a partnership with Richard Pearson, and she had her first foal this
Colt
week.
filly?
A colt by 8 rings. They
Beautiful.
did very well. She's at Checkmate, and Adrian's had a great job looking after her, taking care of her, and the little baby's super cute, nice, good-sized foal for a first baby, and she'll be bred back to Brickyard Ride this year.
And I was going to say, you breed back pretty quickly, right? My understanding of the breeding industry is you don't have a lot of time because you want an early foal.
I mean, the earlier the foal, the better in
Sure.
theory. So what you do is you breed back on the foal heat, which would be in the next week or so after birth. And if you can catch, then great. And if you can't, you go back the next month. But if you already wait the next month, then you're into April, and then you're hoping for a March foal. If it doesn't take, you're into May, hoping for an April foal.
How much work do you do spending, or how much time do you spend thinking about stallions? In other words, why Brickyard Ride?
Well, it depends on how much of the horse we own, right? I mean, Charlie crossed with several stallions really well, and we did consider sending her back. She actually crossed beautifully with Rombauer as well. So we had thought about sending her back to, be bred to a Kentucky sire and then breed back in California for Cowbreds. But Richard really wanted to keep her at home. And so we just were exclusively looking in California. She ran on the grass a couple of times. She didn't really care for it. So I didn't want to breed her to someone like Sir Prancelot that was going to be a lot more turf influence. And Brickyard Ride was just a really hard knocking racehorse, right? He had longevity, he had speed, he had distance. So if he is as good of a sire as his dad is, and he carries on what he was as a racehorse, I just feel like you're going to get a really nice baby. And she was pretty tenacious, and he had tons of tenacity. So I'm hoping for a nice baby that way. When you go to Kentucky and stuff, you have a lot more, I feel like, options, and you can do a lot of, nicking and this and that. But when we're here and we're trying to kind of maintain loyalty to the Cowbred program, we have to look at our pool and just kind of see what crosses best.
Let's see if we can find some hard knocking horses on today's 11 race card. Kicking things off, Michelle, in race number 1, which begins the 50-cent early pick 5. We're on the turf course. Of course, we're fast and firm today. The turf rails are at 20 feet. Race 1 goes 6 furlongs on the turf course for 3-year-old fillies. Non-winners of one other than. It's an allowance optional claiming race. Field of 6. Morning line favorite in the current betting choice at 7-5 is number 1, Jungle Peace from the Phil DeMano barn. 6 ways you can go here. Which way are you going and why?
I'm actually going with the 3 on top, Shillified. And nothing against Jungle Peace, because I do like her and use her, but I just like the fact that Shillified is stakes play. She was second in the Blue Northern, and then she has already run in this condition before. She might not have loved going down the hill last time, and I feel like that was a pretty tough event in the Sweet Life, so this is obviously a class drop for her. But Jungle Peace is first time versus winners, which is not always my favorite angle. I did love a recent work of hers, though, that 59 and change bullet
Well,
drill.
here it is, magically, courtesy of our friends at FirstTV.com.
Isn't that so nice?
This is Jungle Peace on the outside, inside?
She's behind.
She's behind.
Yep.
Okay,
so
thank you.
Step It Out is going to be in front. She's the gray filly up there. And I just thought this horse looked so relaxed, right? And she was poorly placed in her U.S. debut. But I love a horse that couldn't care less about that horse in front, right? So she's just out here. They could be 2 separate horses working for all she could care. And then she gets switched right here to the outside. And I just thought she had a really nice emphatic response. She's obviously going to deliver you a very nice time. And look at how she's just going to gobble up some ground. Now, the rider on the horse in front, it's not like he's sending to try to stay apart, right? And it is going to take her a second here when she comes off the turn to get even. But as soon as the rider's like, hey, this is what you need to do. And right here, he has to angle out because she was going to go up inside. I don't know why he didn't let her go up inside. And he's going to give her 1 tap on the shoulder. But when he does that, look at how much she accelerates right there.
Good competitive spirit, that's for sure, as they near the wire. We also have a workout for number 2, Aunt Mo. This was a solo workout back on February 17th. You don't like Aunt Mo in the top 2, but of course you have to respect any rider ridden, any horse ridden by Juan Hernandez. What'd you like about this workout, or maybe what didn't you like about the workout?
Poor Charlene right here. Charlene is happy this work was not in company, because I'm not sure she would have been able to hold back Aunt Mo had it been in an company work.
Complete opposite of what we just saw from Jungle Peace.
Absolutely stone cold opposite. Look, some horses are just a little more aggressive than other horses, right? This filly is obviously extremely aggressive, but she's going to give you a quick time, and she's fighting the whole way. You don't get 47 and change fighting like that with your head up in the air, not able to do anything if you've got no talent, right? She finally gets her kind of leveled out down here, but she's still not letting her run. Charlene's still got a pretty snug hold on her because she's not dumb, right? She's not going to let her go and
go 45.
yeah, exactly. So I think right here she looked really good. Obviously working on this synthetic. You hope that lends itself to running on the grass. She's by Uncle Mo out of a Scat Daddy mare. Pedigree-wise, she should absolutely love the turf. She has a sibling that's won on the turf, the dam won on the turf. The handicappers report followed up that work with 2 solid B- workouts. So I just thought, she is certainly playable in here, but mentally, I hope that we see something different on race day from her.
Race number 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4. This time we're sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track. It's a starter optional claiming race. Field of 6, the even money favorite, the impressive back-to-back winner, number 3, wound up from the Lee Baraccio barn. Thumbs up or thumbs down on the favorite here, Michelle?
I mean, not to be a hater, but anytime it's an even money horse, I'm like, I'm going to try and beat that one.
You're
right?
a handicapper. You're supposed to be skeptical.
Okay, so I'm going to use another horse on top. I'm actually going to go with the 2, Clampet, on top here, also bringing in back-to-back wins. I mean, this is Mark Glatt, Flavian Pratt, on a horse who's more than capable, that likes to be forwardly placed and brings in back-to-back wins, and you're going to get 6-5 or in that realm. Sure, I'll take that. I'll take that on top of even money any day.
12 for 17 lifetime.
Plus, Wound Up is on a 3-race win streak. I feel like when you get to those 3s and those 4s, it's really hard to keep going and to keep finding spots that you're going to be competitive in. So just for argument's sake, I did put Wound Up underneath, but I really think that it's going to be one of those 2. If it's someone else, color me surprised.
Let's turn the page, take a look at race number 3. We're back on the turf course, 1 mile is the distance. It's a restricted starter optional claiming race. Scratch the 2, leaves us with a field of 7. Number 5, Trusty Rusty, is the 2-1 Maury Line favorite. Do you have a beat on these Northern California type races yet? I mean, most handicappers are kind of muddling their way through it and figuring out what's what.
I mean, it is challenging, and especially it makes it more challenging when you see what they're racing at and then like what we're offering. We're obviously not offering a complete condition book here, right? So they're having to find spots for their horses as well. They might want to drop them lower. They might not want to drop them lower. We don't have
We've seen a lot of that already the last couple of weeks.
Exactly. We don't have a ton of opportunity on the grass, which we don't for anybody. So, I mean, it's just like you have to kind of look at them and look what kind of company they've been keeping. It kind of is a crapshoot, especially as now we've seen the Southern California guys reaching in and claiming him.
Correct.
So it's like, okay, now we're, changing
Nameless.
some things around.
Right.
Yeah, well, Nameless, all he had to do was run on the dirt, right? And then when Cayman had that horse, they loved him. They thought he was going to be like a Kentucky Derby horse. He had an injury when he was a yearling, when he was in training. He had to be turned out, and they just didn't know if he was going to pan out. And when they brought him back, he just wasn't great, but it's obviously because he was on the synthetic, and it was just getting on dirt, woke him up.
And the horse players are embracing these races. They actually like challenges, right?
Yes.
Horse players get tired of 6-5 even money. They want challenges, and we're actually presenting it to them because none of us have actually figured out the magic potion yet.
It's not just the magic potion, too. You have to think like the conditions that we're writing are so different than any conditions that we've had here.
Correct.
So it's almost route when you're looking at our conditions. We have the 25 non-2, we have the 30 non-3, we have these 3 or 4 conditions, so we kind of know where everybody fits in. Well, now that we have these restricted optional claiming that have run for this tag at X amount of time, and you have to go back and see when that was. I just think it does make it really fun and really challenging.
Having said that, who do you like in race 3?
I like the 3. Is that your way of telling me I'm long-winded? I like Atomic Drop for Steve Knapp. Picked him
It's
up
not what I
off the
say,
claim.
it's what I don't say.
Coming off a win, but he's been capable of winning back-to-back before. I just think that he suits the condition really nicely here. Steve did a good job in placement, and this horse has been competitive in the Southern California circuit before, so I feel like he already has the experience to be able to run well here at Santa Anita.
Race number 4, we're going 1 mile on the main track for fillies and mares, $8,000 claimers, a field of 8. Number 7, Sweet Hello, is the 2-1 Maury Line favorite. Speaking of Sweet Hello, let's watch a workout for Sweet Hello. It was a team work on March 1st right here at Santa Anita. You wanted to show this work, Michelle. Tell us why.
I'm a fan of Sweet Hello. I thought that she ran really well last time, and I had looked at her thinking she was going to run good. She was my top pick that day because she was at the level that I felt like she could be really competitive at. And you don't see a lot of in-company works from these fillies and mares, or even the colts that are older and know what they're doing. Either you work them in company because they're super lazy, or you don't work them in company because they do their job.
They know what they're doing.
This filly knows what she's doing, and she's still in company. And look at her from here. She's just like cruising out here. This other horse is going to try and come up to her, but I just thought she looked so easy peasy here, right? Look, she's going to come a little wide. Her ears are not pinned back, so she's not even trying hard, and she's going to give you 48 and change, but I mean, she's in a common gallop right here, right? That other horse is not even pushing at her that much, not bothering her where she tries to go faster. I just thought this was a very nice, easy drill for her to come into this race.
She's an experienced 5-year-old mare. Is she your top selection in the race?
She is my top selection in this race.
If you had to play an exacta, who else would you use? It looks like you like number 4, Soul of a Warrior.
Yeah, I mean, she was right behind Sweet Hello last time. Soul of a Warrior, I feel like, is still kind of seeking a really good spot because she has some dismal races, earlier on this summer. But she did win the 10,000 at Del Mar, and she obviously won this. I think she's just finding some friends, and if she just holds on a little bit longer, she'll be right there.
On today's 11 race card, we offer a 50-cent middle pick 4, which begins in race number 5. We're back on the turf course, 1 mile is the distance. Fillies and mares, starter optional. Claiming race, scratch the 3, morning line favorite number 7. Kararu, 8-5 on the morning line. We want to show another workout, another team drill. This one from the Phil D'Amato barn, number 5, Upcharge. Why'd you want to show this work, Michelle?
I thought this was a really good work from Upcharge. I've been a fan of hers since her debut. I know it took her a while to break her maiden, but she tried winners last time too. Some Avail thought she was really good, but she's going to be in the middle here in all black. That's Ricky Gonzalez, who rides her in the afternoon, riding her in this particular work as well. And she's just very brave to me. So if you watch her, it's not easy to be on the inside or in the middle. Right? So she's coming up on this horse. So all of a sudden her heart gets big. And then there's a horse breathing down her outside. And this horse on the outside looks like it wants to go right on by, right? Public Assembly. And look, Ricky's not really getting after her at all. And that horse passes her. But look at her. Instead of going with the inside horse that she's already beaten, I love that Upcharge goes with the outside horse that has all the
Pins her ears
momentum.
back and wants
she's
to
like,
fight, right?
yeah. And Ricky's not asking her to. She's just doing that on her own volition. So I thought that was an excellent work from Upcharge. She is going to be my top selection in here to kick off that middle pick 4.
Let's take a look at race number 6, which begins the $2 pick 6. We're sprinting the abbreviated sprint distance of 5.5 furlongs. It's a restricted maiden claiming race for $8,000. Take note, number 3, Daddy's Quest is a first-time gelding. Make the jockey on number 5, My Amigo, Welfin Orantes, who's also the 3-1 morning line favorite. This is a good race to kick off the pick 6. A little bit of a head scratcher.
It is a tough race. I ended up with the 5 on top in here, and I hadn't heard the rider change. I knew there was a rider off, but it had TBD when I looked. So I'm actually very happy with Welfrin getting on because I feel like he's been running some Ron Ellis horses really nicely.
It's improving every day. You can see it.
So I'm happy with that. My Amigo coming off a pair of third-place finishes. But I especially now, I feel like maybe if he's a little bit more forwardly placed, should be really good. I like him there. I used him with the one Cangrejo. Cangrejo?
We'll leave it up to Frank Miramani.
Frank. That one turns back in distance, which I think is going to be a positive because the 5.5 really did seem to suit him when he got finished behind Get Me Dusty. And Get Me Dusty's been very competitive when he runs. What's going on, Steve?
Scratched today again.
Scratched. I used him on Friday. Scratched. I used him today. Scratched.
Steve's a cagey type of guy. Speaking of cagey guys, you actually do a podcast with Billy Koch, who I had on yesterday as my seminar guest.
Billy is not cagey. Billy is the most open and honest guy.
Is he?
Yes.
I mean, he was all bundled up in a hoodie yesterday. It looked like he was a spy that came in from the cold, the way he was dressed here. And it wasn't even really that cold. But you know him very well. You guys have a lot of fun doing the Owner's Podcast.
We do. Yeah, we do the Owner's Box. And that was something that Billy had thought up a couple of years back now. And I was really grateful that he brought me on. And we try and focus on the owners because obviously they're a huge part of our game. But, when a horse wins, it's like, oh, Bob Baffert training, Ryan Hansen training, whatever it is. It's not, hey, Little Red Feather owns this horse,
Sure.
So we try to give all owners a voice on there. We try to be really educational and informative to our listening audience in case they want to jump into ownership. We've got everybody on from like a micro share owner of my racehorse to, we've had the guys from Coolmore on. We've had Garrett O'Rourke from Juddmonte on. We've had John Stewart's been on the show. Mike Rapoli is a multiple guest on the show. So we've had the smallest guys to the biggest, heaviest, hard hitters. Billy did surprise me one day and had Gary Barber on.
That's a big get. I've been trying to get him for years.
I had been trying to get him, right? And he was like, I have a surprise guest for you. I'm like, okay. And he's like, try to guess who it is. I'm like, okay, hello, guest. He's like, hello, Michelle. I'm like, is that Gary Barber? I couldn't believe it. I was like awestruck. I'm like, I'm not even like practiced or studied. I just have to like fangirl through this right now.
It is amazing when you look through all the entries around the country, how many horses Mr. Barber owns. It's amazing. Not only just up at Woodbine, but he supports racing almost on a global basis, certainly a North American basis.
100%. And in the Eclipse Awards, actually, not last year, but the 3 years prior, I had voted for him on top as owner of the year because he had been a part of so many big horses. And because he's not singled out. He doesn't get, I feel like, the respect, but he's got $5,000 claimers at Golden Gate. He's got horses winning the Preakness. He's breeding horses. He's buying horses. He's on the TOC. Like, he is a really valuable owner that doesn't get the attention that I feel like he really should get. So I'm a huge Gary Barber fan.
And let's not forget his brother, Cecil Barber, who's active at the windows as well.
And we love to see Cecil all the time. Cecil's always out here.
We do. Race number 7 begins 2 wagers, both the 50-cent late pick 5 as well as the $3 all turf pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout. And we kick off both wagers in race 7, sprinting 6 furlongs in the turf course for maiden special weight Calbred, fillies and mares. A good field of 9. Number 2, Delaterra is the 2-1 morning line favorite. You want to take a look on the workout for Garden Party. Speaking about Preakness winners and Brumbauer, Garden Party owned by John and Diane Fradkin. Leonard Powell is the trainer. Here's the workout, a solo workout back on March 1st. What'd you see here?
I loved this work for this filly. She's 47 and change, and you're talking about allegedly a turf horse, right? Working on dirt. She was nowhere to be found on debut, but I just feel like, they gave her some time and she looks so into this right now. Look at this pedigree by Clubhouse Ride out of a Bertrando mare. And to me, a Bertrando Damsire is so sneaky turf. I love that. She has a little bit of turfy action. You can see right here, she's a little bit of a wide mover with some high knees. I just thought this was a very solid work. Leo's 23% first time out of his barn. I could see this horse winning. I wasn't going to use her originally because her debut was just poop. But then I watched this work and I was like, I see where they're going right now. I'm throwing this horse into the mix now. So now she's a part of my top picks, my turf pick 3, and my mid pick 4 because of that work.
A sneaky long shot at 8-1 on the morning line. Speaking of long shots, take a look at who your second selection is. It would be number 2, Delaterra, who's the morning line favorite. What would you like about the Mark Glatt training?
Oh, well, there's not a lot to dislike. I mean, again, you're getting Pratt and Glatt together, which they've been teaming at about 30%. She's been working very well. She ran well on debut. It was an off-the-turf event. They're finally going to get back on the grass, where I talked about Clubhouse Ride on the turf. So, I mean, nothing to dislike here at all.
Race number 8 begins the 50-cent late pick 4 sequence. We're sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track for restricted starter optional claiming types. 2 scratches. Scratch the 6 and the 9. The aforementioned Get 'em Dusty is the 9 out of race 8. Number 5, Mr. Fighter, make the jockey Adrian Castellano. Morning line favorite. Number 7, Major Tom, 2-1 on the morning line. Give us winner in race 8, Michelle.
I'm going to use, who am I going to use on top, TQ? 7. Yeah, Major Tom. Major Tom is my top pick.
Of course you are. Major Tom. What a hunch play that is.
Well, not only that, but so we have another baby on the ground last year, so it's just, a weanling right now, but it is out of Olivia's mare, Rainbow Fire. I think that we talked about it last time on the show, right? So I told Spencer he could give it a nickname, and he named it Major Tom after a Bluey character, because all of our horses that Spencer names are Bluey characters. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. So we call it a Major Tom, and then this horse shows up, and Spencer's like, Mom, is that our horse? And I'm like, nope, it's not, but I guess we can't name him Major Tom now. So Major Tom in here, coming off a very dominating score last time out. He ran against tougher company up at Pleasanton. He's eligible for this because last year he ran for some lower tags, but he really has climbed up the class ladder, with the exception of that race where he got beat by Wound Up. He has been very, very formful. So I think this is another event for him that he can absolutely show how good he is.
Race number 9 is our feature race on today's card. It's the Pasadena Stakes for 3-year-olds going 1 mile of the turf course. It also begins the $3 late pick 3 with a reduced 15% takeout as well. 2 scratches. Scratch the 2 and the 7 leaves us with a field of 6. Number 8, Tis Secure, supplemented to the race, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Here's your one runner, FOMO Joe, Edwin Maldonado, new jockey in the saddle. Tough beat in the Eddie Logan. I would have loved for you to have won the Eddie Logan Stakes. You got really close. Last time out, you sprinted, a little bit disappointing. What do you expect today from FOMO Joe?
Well, the Eddie Logan Stakes, he wasn't even quite ready to go that day, and we just got a super easy lead. I'm still not convinced he wants to go a mile. We might have just kind of fooled him that day, because how Steve Miotti always says, right? You can fool him first time long. And I was really disappointed in his baffle because he'd been training very forwardly coming into that. But if you go back and watch him in the warm-up, I was concerned. He went up the hill and he was like, what is this?
Foreign territory.
He did not like the hill. He went up the hill. He kept looking at the dirt. Adrian was like trying to steer him over by the rail, and he was going this way. He was not comfortable at any point looking at the hill. And then if you watch the race, when they were coming down, he likes to be very forwardly placed, and he was in a comfortable position off of the leader. But when they started to come down the hill, you could just see his head, which is already high, went up, and he was like, what is going on? He was just not a happy duck.
Mentally, he was not there.
So
that's good information, by the way.
Yeah,
just draw a line through it.
Just draw a line. He did not like the hill. Now, I don't know if he's going to want to go a mile with some realistic fractions and
Yeah,
all.
we're getting 10 to 1.
But we're getting 10 to, well, are we still getting 10 to 1? Is there
maybe 8 to 1?
Yeah, okay, that's more like it. So I think that now, actually, though, with Shea Brennan now, who is going to be hampering to him, I do feel like he has maybe more of an opportunity here to kind of be left alone on the lead or sit right outside the 3 friendly confines. So we should get a better trip today. Maldonado is going to be getting on, and Adrian hasn't done anything wrong with him. But the owners wanted to go with someone with just a little bit more stakes experience. And actually, they had wanted Rispoli to ride, and he was going to ride. And then Jonathan Thomas ended up entering that filly that had won a stake. And how do you say no to the guy you ride?
Of course.
You ride first call for that has a stakes winner in the field.
And she wound up scratching.
Yeah, but Edwin and the partners have a really good relationship. He's ridden a lot of winners for them. So hopefully they can team together well. He's been training fine. I feel like he's been. I felt like he was training so good going in the Baffle, and I was just so disappointed with that effort. But as I've watched the race 73 times now, I am just convinced he did not like the hill. I am disappointed, though, with the scratch of Shea Brennan, because I thought he was going to absolutely crush this field. His work was so good, and he obviously loves the mile. I don't think he was going to have a problem with the grass, so I was looking for a nice price on him. Now I kind of just wind up with the one, Freedom's Not Free. He finished 3rd right in front of FOMO Joe in the Baffle Stakes. He's never been a route on the grass, but he gets 3rd start off a break. Again, that Glatt Pratt team, and his numbers have just been tremendous since moving on to the turf. And the horse that beat us in the Baffle, that's a serious horse right there. So I end up on Freedom's Not Free, but I really love Shea Brennan.
Race number 10 begins the $5 late daily double, again with a reduced 15% takeout. We're sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track. Furlongs optional claiming types that are based in Northern California. Scratch the 1, leaves us with a field of 6. Number 6, Harson, is the 7 to 5 morning line favorite. A lot of Northern California influence on today's card. Give us a winner in race 10, Michelle.
I like the 3, Idaho once.
You like Idaho. You've been to Idaho more than once.
Yes, we live in Idaho. We lived in Idaho.
Beautiful
Idaho.
country.
It is very nice. And Idaho once taking a class drop down from a little bit tougher allowance company. He was just facing kind of the Calbreds from around here, right? So that was a lot tougher. He did run 3rd in an open 43 back. And I just feel like he's got some back class to lean on. So for me, Bill McLean, Idaho once off the class drop in here on top. Underneath, I did use the 6 Harrison for Sammy. This horse hasn't won a race in quite a while, though, so he's been running 2nd. I'm kind of surprised he's the favorite, even though he's also taking a mild class drop. They've dropped him down before, and he still runs 2nd. Like, he just doesn't have that gumption to win races. Now watch a win for fun today. But looking at his form, I just feel like it's a no-brainer at 7 to 5 for me to put him underneath.
We'll get an extra minute, Michelle. I just want to give you a compliment. And the compliment would be the other day, your picks were so lousy. You actually said that you felt like you were reading the racing form upside down. But it can be frustrating, right? You put a lot of time and effort into your work. You're obviously, all your picks are public knowledge. Mm-hmm. And when you don't do well, you feel bad not only for yourself, but everybody else that's kind of tailing your selections.
Definitely. I know there's some people that kind of take, any public handicappers picks and bet blind or whatnot. And I do put a lot of work. I read the racing form. I watch workouts.
Pedigree.
I watch replays. We do pedigree. I mean, I use Formulator. The handicappers report. I try to do my best work. It's not like 10 minutes before work, I'm just slapping through, you know what I mean? And some days it just does not work. I mean, I could not have been more wrong than I was on Friday.
It's a crazy game, isn't it? You did nothing different.
Yeah.
And yet the results couldn't be more different.
And it wasn't even like they were crazy horses. I was just like, I didn't have that 3 to 1 shot anywhere on my whole page. I don't know what's going on. So it's I mean, it's not embarrassing per se, but like there can be people that give you heat, like, wow, your picks suck and everything. So for me, I'd better go on the offensive and be like, hey, I am so aware that today my tickets are no bueno.
Well, we're hoping today your ticket is bueno. And let's close things out in race number 11, offering $1 super high five wagering. Back on the turf course, 1 mile is the distance. Once again, $32,000 claimers. Scratch the 6, leaves us with a field of 9. Morning line favorite is number 4, Jimmy Blue Jeans from the Jeff Mullins barn. Jeff Mullins barn been kind of quiet. He hasn't entered many horses this weekend, but prior to that, his barn has been red hot. Yeah,
32% on the year is going to make you absolutely red hot. And this horse is taking a big class drop down. But hey, for argument's sake, once again, TQ, I'm going to try and beat the favorite.
Beat the favorite. We like it.
I like the 5 Hurricane Cloud for Richie Baltas. He's been having an excellent meet as well. Again, a horse taking a little bit of drop in class because he's been protected in his last couple. Last time he ran for the Open 40, he finished third, only got beaten neck by Fantastic, who we all know is such a venerable old favorite. He's going to get blinkers off today as well. So I like the fact that he's had some narrow defeats and they're changing something up for him. And once again, Pratt, if it's up to me, Pratt's going to have like a 6-win
Sure
day.
sounds like it the way you're giving out your selections.
Hey, Flavian.
Welcome back.
Either thank you or sorry. I mean, one of those two things.
Could be the curse. We'll see how it all plays out. Before we let you go, Michelle, I want to set up one more wager that I know you're familiar with. It's the Coast to Coast Pick 5. This wager has been paying fantastic. Yesterday was pretty chalky sequence. Still paid in excess of $600. Today's sequence, as you can see, we're using 3 races from Santa Anita. $1 minimum wager, low 15% takeout. We kick off the Coast to Coast Pick 5 wager in Gulfstream Park, race number 9, 2:08, I should say, p.m. Pacific time is first post. Michelle, thanks so much for your time and insight today. It's always a treat having you on the seminar. You bring a breath of fresh air to most of the curmudgeons that I have on here on a normal basis. So thanks again and best luck with your selections today.
Well, thanks for your patience in having me on. I appreciate it.
Long overdue, that's for sure. Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Good luck this afternoon, everybody. Have fun. We'll see you on Friday.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Track conditions are brought to you by John Deere, and we are fast and firm with the rail on the turf at 20 feet this afternoon. Here are the changes. Race 1, just a blinker no. Early pick 5 starts with the opener. In race 2, no changes. Race 3, scratch number 2, It's Thievery. In the 4th, no whip for 6, Run for My Honey. We have a middle pick 4 today. Races 5, 6, 7, 8, scratch 3, Princess Snow. In the 6th, number 5, My Amigo, the jockey Welfin Orantes. The weight remains the same. Pick 6 starts with race 6. Late pick 5 and all turf pick 3 begin with race 7. Just a blinker note. In the 8th, number 3, Nodoro, 2 over. 5, Mr. Fighter, the jockey Adrian Castellanos. 8, Love Candy, 1 over. Scratch numbers 6, Runnin' Ute, and 9, Get 'em Dusty. Race 8, scratch 6 and 9. The 9th is the Pasadena, scratch 2, Shea Brennan, scratch 7, Will Then. And a revised morning line has been issued for the Pasadena with those scratches. Race 10, scratch 1, Melanie's Tiger. And in the 11th, super high 5 wagering offered, scratch 6, Busy Channel. Enjoy your day at the Great Race Place. They'll be at the gate for the opener in 27 minutes at 12:30.